music to the noise, yeah, the mess we make. Machine Pun Kelly get caught in the fake. Facts and logic with a twist of chest. Strip it down to truth, yeah, forget the rest. Humor pulls the lies right out of the park. Look beyond the shadows that set the dark. Sparks of laughter fire up the night, bringing clarity when they blur the fight. Cut through the chaos, yeah, the tangled lies. Machine Pun Kelly with the sand clear eyes. Truths and jokes gonna rock this show. Step into light where the real facts glow.
Okay, we're back.
We are back. Hi, I'm back.
We
have a lot to cover.
I'm happy that Nahaan is back. It's like a lot easier than just sitting there doing a monologue.
Monologues are hard. They really are. I like to be able to bounce ideas off of someone else.
So we just so today we don't have any guests. If you didn't catch yesterday, it was really a great conversation with Matthew.
I didn't get to watch it because I've been sick. So tell me, what was that about?
That was about he
who was it? Who was it?
His name is Matthew Fucciani. And he is
Facciani. Yeah. Dr. Matthew Facciani.
And he has a PhD in social sciences or something. Social what was it? Social something, not social sciences, but anyway, like studying societies.
Yeah.
Like not
scientists, but not.
Anyway, he is at Notre Dame, and they did this study of like how disinformation works and on forbidden knowledge. And it's like if you forbid knowledge, if you ban stuff, then it actually has a counter effect of actually making people believe it more.
Right.
Like why would you be trying to hide this if it weren't true?
It's like the silo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, great series, by the way.
Oh my God, so good. I have yet to watch the last 2 episodes, and because I'm waiting, I've watched it with my friend, and oh my God. I will say this though, it got a little like convoluted in the middle of the season, this new season.
Yeah.
But like it had to because they were switching back and forth, but I think it's gonna come together really well.
I almost stopped watching it at one point because it just got to, sometimes these things, they get so embroiled in their own little,
world
melodramas that it's just like, I don't even know what the hell is going on anymore.
It becomes a bit melodramatic. Yeah.
Like, I think I have to watch that whole Dune series again because I just got lost.
The new Dune TV show, the one on HBO, I haven't watched it yet, but I also have not watched Dune 2, so like kill me, whatever. I mean, I watched Dune on HBO at the house. We did not go to the theaters to watch it. I watched it with my husband, and he fell asleep in the bed while we watched it. And so I was like, what's the point? I was like, if you're not gonna watch it with me, like I'm not gonna watch it. Like, but no, I mean, it gets to the point where they get so caught up in their story and like what they're trying to tell that it gets the viewers a little bit disconnected. And I would say that that's a great segue to the Democratic Party and the conversation that we want to have about the story and the movement that the Democrats want to tell, because I think that's what we're going to talk about today, right? Is like what the Democratic Party has done in this last election cycle. And I think it actually extends past this last election cycle. I think
Well, see, here's what I wanted to talk about is that okay, so I made this. I'll link the email in the video in the in the chat later. Okay. But I wrote this thing on why you should vote for Kamala Harris, right? And I gave all these reasons, and these are all things Kamala Harris said. And I even had people that are like, I'm a Trump supporter, and I think these are great. Why isn't she talking about this?
Yeah, right? No, I agree with
so the thing is she was messaging, but nobody knew the message.
She was using NPR language, though, and that was the problem.
Well, no, I don't think that's the problem at all. I think the problem is the media. Donald Trump uses gobbledygook language.
I know, but guess what? You know what the reading level of most Americans is? It's like
she wasn't talking over people's head, though. I mean, I really don't think she was.
No, I think that
what happened is that the media, she had plans for housing,
right?
For healthcare, like for in-home healthcare. She had plans that people liked but didn't know about. The problem, if anything, the media could say this is what she wants to do, right? I remember growing up, the media, you'd get the newspaper, and it would have two lists, right? And would have the two candidates and where they stand on the issues. You don't see that anymore. The media does not any longer report what the actual positions are.
Yeah, but I think
and I think that the media is at fault. They weren't doing. You can't blame the Democrats for the messaging when the media doesn't report the message.
Well, you have to. This is the problem with the Democratic Party is that they
have it's the problem with the media.
The problem with the Democratic Party is that they have to adapt to new media.
Okay, but then what new media? How is Fox News? What is Fox News going to? Is Fox News going to be honest about the Democrats ever?
No, I mean, who's watching Fox News, though? Do you think that Gen Zs are watching Fox News? No, they're watching podcasts.
Right. Listen, but whose podcasts? Are going to be whose podcasts are they watching?
Kelly, wait a second. The amount of people that will be born and that will die this year, the amount of people that will die is higher than the amount of people that will be born this year. Okay, that is a fact. We know this.
That's an evergreen fact.
What?
That's an evergreen fact.
No. I mean, we already know that we are in an age where we have not enough people to work in the healthcare industry, to work in with the elderly because of the boomer age. Those people are getting older now, and there's not enough youth to take care of them, and they are going to die. We have made less children. Let's be real. There's not enough people to take care of the elderly, and that's not why they're going to die, but it's just a fact. There's more elderly people than there are young people, right? That is true. But we have an issue with the fact that the youth is not watching Fox News, right?
No, but they're still. What are they doing? They're listening to Joe Rogan.
Right, which is I'm not saying that it's a I'm not saying that is that's the.
But Joe Rogan is now part of the media.
Right, it's called new media. That's what they call it. It's new media. It's just we're taking advantage of it as well as being a podcast and using stacks, and that is the way that things are going now. People are unsubscribing to WAPO and New York Times. They're not following those tried and true.
But Joe Rogan wouldn't have her on unless she changed her entire schedule.
No, I'm not saying that was right. I'm not saying that's right. But what I'm saying is the Democratic Party did not. I mean, she went on Call Me Daddy, that podcast.
The second biggest podcast after Rogan's.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
she went on Charlemagne.
Yeah, she did. Right. That's what I'm saying. But we needed to do more of that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that
But
any.
nobody, like this is the thing. But while the campaign was going on, all you heard is what a perfect campaign she ran. Then as soon as she lost, everybody starts micromanaging the. Do you think if she had gone on the Joe Rogan show, she would have won?
No, but there was a preface.
Okay, tell me what podcast she could have gone on that would have made a difference.
To what you just said, they said she ran a perfect campaign within the time that she had, right? Because she only had what? How much time did she? She started in July or June till November. Like, she had a perfect campaign for that time that she had.
But here's the other thing:
campaigning before 2016 to be the president forever. That is his goal. I would not be surprised if Tim Bondi gets nominated or gets confirmed, and if Pete Hegseth gets confirmed and Kash Patel gets confirmed, that they're going to find a way to twist the law so that he can be president forever. I mean, like that's.
But what does that have to do with Democratic messaging?
No, what I'm trying to say is that, like, we could have done better. And hold on, like you said, she did the best. Even the media said she ran the best campaign that she could have. There were a lot of different factors in the reasons why things failed. We had you're bluing on people that were like Biden or die. After his terrible performance at the debate. People, I mean, and even I don't even know if you've read that. I mean, I've been laying in bed sick for the last, I don't know, month almost. And I've been like scrolling through my phone, reading the news. I mean, Jill Biden just did an op-ed or did an interview the other day. And she was like, I think about Nancy Pelosi a lot. Like, what she did was really shitty to my husband. And I'm like, but was it though? Like, he obviously, what Joe Biden can still even do in the last 4 days of his presidency is step down and make Kamala Harris the 47th president. But guess what? He's not going to do it. Just like Merrick Garland's statement or his nobody's above the law, his whole speech about that. Like, I'm disappointed in the way that the Democratic Party has treated the process, because here's the one thing I agree with in regards to Pete Hegseth. He said that, we follow the law in war, but the other our opponents do not, right? They don't do it. What did Michelle Obama say? When they go low, we go high. Fuck that shit. Like, we are a lawless country at this point. There's a felon that is about to be the president of the United States.
But do you think that the Democrats need to break the law?
I don't know. What do you do when the Nazis come? Do you follow the law? No, you don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is insanity. This is complete.
But then what do you get? I mean, to me, I do agree with what you're saying to a point, that when you have one side that is just absolutely violating the rules, it's like if you have a basketball. You did you ever see Hoosiers? Movie about the high school basketball team,
Indiana and Ohio. A family. No, I didn't watch a movie of that. If you're talking, about
this was like a movie from the 80s.
Okay, no, I don't think I saw it. No,
I think it had Dennis Hopper was the star, and he was a basketball coach. And it was there was this high school basketball team, and they went to this one place, and the other team was just thugs, and they were like fouling everything and just like body slamming people.
They basically dodgeball.
It was worse than that. It was more like WWE. They were like just violently playing basketball, and and so obviously they're winning. And then the Hoosiers, they get, if they tap somebody, they get called for a foul. So the refs are calling the game differently for both teams. And there's on the one side. So you got three parties here, right? You got the bad guy team, the good guy team, and the refs. All right.
Okay.
And to me, the problem is the refs.
Okay.
Because the refs need to call the game fairly.
Well, okay. So hold on. If you're talking about if you're referring to this in regards to the government and like politics in general, who are you saying are the refs?
The refs are the media. So
but
here so let me explain what I mean here.
Okay.
We talk about the campaign. We talk about the Harris campaign. All right.
I'm not worried about what the Harris campaign.
No. Hear me out now. Because
Right.
it's not about the Harris campaign.
It's not.
Her campaign had absolutely nothing to do with who won the election. The election was decided long before Joe Biden's debate disaster. It was decided long before Kamala Harris took over. It has nothing to do with any of that.
No, it doesn't.
It has to do with, one, the media talking endlessly every single day about the inflation and how inflation was bad for the Democrats and the Democrats' fault, and it was all the Democrats' fault. And they never once asked a single Republican, what are you going to do about inflation? They just defaulted to inflation is all the Democrats' fault, and so the Republicans are going to make it better. They never said anything about why, and you'd have people, and then they would go on and on about the Republicans. People trust the Republicans more on the economy, even though everything that the Republicans were saying, like tariffs and all of that stuff, would be a disaster for the economy. And they would say, then like the last couple of months, they're like, the economy is doing so well. Why don't people trust it? And it's like, people don't trust it because you've been telling people for the last 4 years how bad it is, when it's actually not been bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Biden handed Trump a very nice deck of cards.
Yeah.
Like
now Biden's. Then the other thing that happened is October 7th, when Hamas invaded Israel, had I don't know, whatever you want to call it, and then Israel responded way out of proportion, right? And like started murdering, children and stuff.
Yeah.
And so then you had Joe Biden was in a place where he either he had to choose between Israel and the Jewish vote.
Okay. Yeah.
Or
again, I mean, I've listened to
Israel and
scholars talk about Israel's right to Jerusalem and the area, and how the Zionist thing is a thing. Like I've listened to scholars, the Jewish scholars, talk about how that's a problem, and the fact that and it's so funny and actually depressing how we talk about how Russia shouldn't be able to take over Ukraine, but Israel is it's okay for them to take over Gaza. It's like we were dealt a very good hand. I mean, yeah, like I said, we gave a really great deck to Trump with a lot of the things that Biden has done in regards to the economy, but at the end of the day, like, we are on the brink. And again, I hate when people say this, but it is reality. Like, we are close to, I would say, more of a Cold War than anything. Like, we are very close to some very difficult challenges that we're going to face now, especially with the threats that Trump is making in regards to Greenland and Canada and the Panama.
Yeah, well, none of which had anything at all to do with the campaign. Notice that the things he's talking about now are not.
He's like, wait, what about the eggs? What about the? Did you see? Wait a second. Did you see where he is going to have the garbage truck that he rode in at his inauguration ceremony? Goodness. Gag me with a spoon, or actually a fork. That might kill me. What the actual fuck? Okay, but to get back to it, like, again, I'm not saying that the Democratic message was bad. I will say this, and maybe you don't know this because you didn't watch any of these confirmation hearings, but I was thoroughly disappointed in the way that some of these confirmation hearings went out. Like, okay, you know what? I get it. I think Pete Hegseth is a piece of garbage. He's a bad man. He vilifies women. He abuses women. He degenerates women. But, like, at the end of the day, I'm sure that we've probably had secretaries of defense that have done the same thing and drank on the job. Like, those aren't the issues. and the issues are who is he qualified? And the Democrats did not perform well in those hearings because there were a few that did. I mean, listen, like I said, Tim Kaine did fantastic, but like at the end of the day, those aren't the questions that I would ask, because the questions that we should really be asking is, are you qualified for the job? And I don't remember which senator it was. He is no, they were all licking ass at the end of the day, but there was one that was like, oh, what are the requirements for the job to be the Secretary of Defense? And there was one requirement. It was that I believe, and you could look it up, but I believe it's you have to have served in the military for a certain amount of time, and then have to have a break of time between the time that you did and the time that you're trying to serve.
So it's like a 5-year gap.
It's 7. So that's it. But like, requirements and qualifications are 2 different things.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I know I've been trying to apply for jobs for a year now, and the market's crazy in the industry I work in. But like, there's a difference between all right, for me, I'm a project manager. My requirements are, for a lot of jobs I applied to, that I have a PMP certification, right? Which I do have. But the qualifications is that I have worked in the e-commerce industry, that I have the ability to work on platforms that work in e-commerce, which is like Shopify, Magento, whatever. And then I also have to know how to use project management tools. Those aren't requirements, those are qualifications. I'm qualified to do the job because of my experience. The requirement is that I have a PMP or a bachelor's degree. That doesn't change. And there was a senator that was arguing for the fact that, oh, you only have this one, and that's fine with me. And I'm like, what are you?
This was a Democrat saying that?
No. But what I was saying about the Democrats is that, like, all right, so they were like, what Tim Kaine was doing was asking about.
Well, I mean, like, that's saying that there's no such thing as a disqualifier.
Wait. He was asking about his personal life, which is valid, right? That's totally valid, that he's not a trustworthy person, that he's a bad guy. But at the end of the day, he doesn't even know what ASEAN is. Like, he doesn't know the countries in that region. The one guy was like, what's the size of the barrel of the gun, and how many bullets can you put in this? It's like, okay, yeah, he was a combat guy. Of course he would know that. Like, what kind of battery do you put in night vision goggles? He's like, Duracell. Like, that doesn't make you qualified to be able to spit out facts. Senator Duckworth did a fantastic job at asking him about actual requirements or qualifications to know what the job entails. And the Democrats failed on that. Nobody else was asking those questions. There was her, and then the new I think she's from Michigan, the new Democrat senator from Michigan. She was worked with the CIA, and she asked him real questions about the role. And what the Democrats failed on was that they asked him a lot of questions which at the end of the day, we could point fingers, just as the other Republican senator pointed out, was like, how many of you senators have not showed up at night to vote drunk? Like, that's valid. Like, that is such a valid response that it's so, I can't believe.
Did Graham raise his hand?
I'm sorry, did who?
What's his name? Lindsey Graham. Did he raise his hand and say, yes, I've showed up to vote drunk?
Lindsey Graham is not a part of that committee.
Oh.
No, he was in.
No, I'm because remember during the January 6th when he was drunk as hell?
Oh, yeah. No. But there were some other really weird back and forths in the other committees. But I just want to make this clear: the Democrats failed on. It's not the messaging. It's not the intent. It's they're not really. Pete Hegseth talks about warriors or war fighters. Democrats aren't thinking like that. Like, we have to think like them, because this guy, Pete Hegseth was a TV personality, right? He was on Fox News talking with difficult people. And also, by the way, just since you didn't watch it, he was talking over women all the fucking time. Every time a woman spoke, he just kept talking over them. And like, some of the women did a good job with that. Some of them did not. However, we didn't ask the right questions. So the whole point of those confirmation hearings is to either prove or deny somebody's capability of being confirmed to the office. And the Democrats failed on that. They really did. Like, again, like, I think what Tim Kaine did was awesome and
What
fantastic.
did Tim Kaine do?
Tim Kaine came at him and he was like, you took an oath for all of your wedding, every wedding you were in, right? And he's like, you've married 3 women, essentially. And he's like, so he kept saying anonymous smears is what Hegseth's response was to every sexual or drunk response he had. He said he was an open book and that he was a changed man. And by the grace of God, he was healed or whatever. And so that was his thing. But so the Democrats did come at him. He's like, well, you said you were an open book, but like, every time anybody has come with claims against you with either sexual assault or misconduct or your alcohol problem, you come back with, these are smears. So what was the things that you changed about your life and when you were a bad person? And he could not answer those questions. So like, that was I think Tim Kaine didn't do it well. I can't remember the other senator. I think he's also from Michigan. He also was like, here, like, you say you're an open book, but open the book then, right? So that was a good thing where he's talking about his character. But Tim Kaine said, he said, like, you took an oath to your wife that you would, when you married her, right? But at that time, you were married to your second wife, getting pregnant another woman, and you cheated on her. So we don't know if we can trust you on taking an oath of office for the Secretary of Defense. And like, it didn't have to take that long to do that. I mean, we already knew he was going to say it was all farce and all lies or whatever, but there was a lot of time wasted. If Kelly, you have to watch it and come back to me, because it really was time wasted. I think that we could have done a lot more digging, like Duckworth did, and asking, like, do you know what what Jeremy said, like, what is ASEAN? He was like, I was in Korea, and it's like, no, motherfucker. The only one that I know is Thailand and Myanmar. Like, I even know that. Like, he couldn't answer those questions. And that is, not qualifying for me.
That's like saying because somebody emptied bedpans in the hospital, they're qualified to do surgery.
No, yeah, if you can breathe on a mirror, if you see a mirror, you put a mirror to somebody's face, they're qualified. They're alive. They're breathing.
It's like, being a combat veteran does not make you qualified to be secretary. It's not even the same skills. It's not even the same.
Combat veteran.
Like the Secretary of Defense does not need to know what kind of batteries go into night vision goggles.
No.
He needs to know where fucking countries are. Like,
yeah, exactly. And he didn't even know, like, there was like 3 very high level specific agreements or things that the Department of Defense has to make decisions on. And he was asked that. I don't think it was by Duckworth. It was by another, God, what's her name? It starts with an H. I can't remember her name. She's an Asian woman, an Asian senator. She has glasses, but she asked.
Are you talking about Hirono?
Hirono. Yes, I knew it started with an H. Yeah, Hirono. And she was like, do you even know what the 3 top things are? Or maybe even Duckworth asked it. But Hirono did drill in him pretty good. She's pretty good at that. She didn't let him talk over her, which I liked. But he couldn't even answer. And his issues with the Geneva Convention and the rules of war, like, or rules of engagement, like he's trying to, he calls them, by the way, all like war fighters, by the way. All soldiers are war fighters. And Elizabeth Warren did an excellent job at calling him out. So to speak highly of the Democrats, she did an excellent job at calling him out. She quoted him because he kept saying anonymous stuff. People said this, that, and the other about me. And it's like, no. Here's what you said. Here's exactly what you said. You said this in 2013. You said this again in 2013, 2014, 2022, 2023. And just 30 days ago in November of 2024, you said this. So now, like 31 days later, she called it a conversion, a nomination conversion. She was like, what changed in the last 34 days or 31 days that made you say, okay, yeah, women are okay to be in combat? And that I will say it was a highlight moment of those interactions at the confirmation hearings. But I will say, like, again, Tim Kaine, what he did was great. I thought it was fun and funny to call him out like that. And genuinely, if people didn't know it and they don't follow politics like we do, like, it was intentional. I get that. But at the end of the fucking day, what people are supposed to hear is this person qualified for the job, right? Like, I'm sure, again, like, and they were, the one senator, like I said, oh, Tim Kaine was the running mate with Hillary Clinton, and Bill Clinton cheated on his wife while he was in office. That makes him unqualified. How could you throw stones? And that.
Hang on a second though. First of all, Bill Clinton is like, okay, that was 30 fucking years ago. Like, find something. Like, if you've got to go back 30 years and talk about Bill Clinton, and and it's not like, anyway, he got investigated, right? He got all of his allegations were investigated by an independent counsel.
Yeah.
And so it's like, let's just not even worry about that. But here, and it's like, if you think that the Bill Clinton was wrong,
but I get the argument though. They're like, oh, you're talking about.
But here's when they talk about
infidelity, that's the word, infidelity. They're talking about infidelity, and it's like, well, your party also has done that.
Donald Trump was convicted of fucking a porn star and then covering it up to win the election. Like,
yes.
If they're talking about, like, it's not, like, to me, infidelity is not the issue. To me, the issue with him are he's an alcoholic, he's abusive.
I mean, he probably has PTSD, so
he's a misogynist. And so it's like, like, you can talk about qualifications all you want. Yeah. Like, you can be a qualified surgeon. You went to medical school. You went through the residency.
You
did all the things to be a surgeon. But then you start leaving sponges in patients, and you start killing your patients. There's qualifiers and there's disqualifiers. And once you start killing off your patients, you're no longer qualified to be a surgeon, even though you have all the positive attributes. And I hear what you're saying, that he does not have the qualifications, but he also doesn't. He's also got the disqualifications. Like,
I think the problem was the weight of the disqualifications that the Democrats were arguing for, because, like, infidelity is not.
No, infidelity to me is not a disqualification.
It does not hold the weight.
Showing up to work drunk is a disqualification.
Again, but like I said, or like the other senator had said, like, other senators also do it. They're like, oh, we should. I think the disqualification.
Okay, if a senator shows up to work drunk, then I don't care.
There's
if the Secretary of Defense is going to have to
qualify him.
But the Secretary of Defense
things.
The Secretary of Defense
doesn't know shit about the job.
That's true too. That's true too. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
No, it doesn't. But I'm saying that.
But if a Secretary of Defense, a Secretary of Defense is going to have to respond to things
24/7
in a moment that affect national security
but
and
he's
could affect
gonna
actual
surround
wars.
himself with smarter
So
people.
to have somebody show up for that drunk is not acceptable.
No, I don't disagree with you there. What I'm saying is that there were other more disqualifying factors that should have been focused on during that confirmation hearing that weren't. Like there were way bigger problems. Like the fact that he did not know the country is in the ASEAN region.
Yes, I agree. Ignorance is a disqualifier.
No, I'm saying like he and I'm not worried about. They talked about the fact that he only managed companies that had 100 people to 200 people. Like, yes, that can be concerning. He said he had thousands of volunteers. I would consider that managing those people or managing the people that manage those people. However, there was a good thing that was said, which was the fact that the committee is like a board, and that the Secretary of Defense is like the CEO, and there is no bigger company in the world than the Department of Defense, right?
Yeah.
It's the biggest company in the world, the most budgeted, highly budgeted company in the world. And one of the senators said, as if this were a business, nobody would hire you as their CEO.
If he were black, and had the exact same qualifications, he would be called a DEI hire.
No, he's a DUI hire. A DUI hire. No, but one of the senators said, I could vote on you to be the speaker for the department, but I can't vote on you to be the secretary of the department. I was like, ooh. But no, really, here again, my qualms with all of this is the fact that the types of questions that were asked, I don't think were disqualifying enough, right? I for the Senate, we have to convince Republicans that it's disqualifying, right? That's what we have to do since they have a triple majority. So the questions that were asked were about things that Republicans don't give a shit about. They cheat on their wives, they drink, they don't give a fuck about that. What we should have focused on was the fact that he doesn't know shit about anything. Like, he doesn't know anything about the job. Oh, he knows about guns and the diameter of a I don't even know, because I'm not an expert on that. He's not an expert on any of that. So we should have focused more on the types of questions that Senator Duckworth asked, because that would have opened the curtain up and taken the sheet off of the fact that he knows nothing. I'm sorry, you served 20 years in the military. That isn't, I know men that have and women that have served 20 years in the military, and they would not be eligible to serve as the Secretary of Defense because they don't know the information that they need to know, period. It's just reality. So all I'm saying about in the regards, this is not, it's not Democratic. It is Democratic messaging because of what they're doing. It messages to me that they're not performing well in the fact that they focus on things that didn't matter because at the end of the day, again, like I said, the point is to change the votes of the Republicans that are going to vote for that guy to be put into office. And they didn't do that. And that was disappointing to me. Like, I felt like they should have done a better job at that.
You know what I was thinking is that, like, with the Supreme Court, what's her name? Kamaji Brown? Something I forget her name.
Who are you talking about again?
The Biden Supreme Court Justice.
Kanji
Brown?
See, we're not qualified. I believe that is correct. Wait, no, it's not. Why is it not on their website? It says current members.
It's Ketanji Brown Jackson. That's
Ketanji Brown, the Jackson part. We forgot. Yeah. Ketanji Brown. I was like,
with her, they were all like, are you saying that out of the whole country, this is the best person, that the most qualified person to be a Supreme Court justice?
I'm
And
sorry, look at her resume.
or are you just saying that she's the best Black person? You know, like
Yeah,
assuming that if they expanded the search to a white people, then there would be a more qualified white person.
I noted that the DEI shit, that's garbage. Yeah.
So what I think what they should have done, like maybe what they should have, you're talking like, what are his qualifications? He was a combat veteran.
Yeah.
There are like literally like 1 million combat veterans in the country. So out of those 1 million people, do you think he is really the best qualified? Like his only qualification is that he has no education for this.
Military. That's
he
it.
Has no experience other than that. Like he has no experience running a country or running a business.
No, he meets the requirement, and then his qualifications are that he's a combat veteran and he's a Trump MAGA motherfucker.
Even Trump, you could find a Trump MAGA motherfucker who is more qualified than him.
Yeah, oh, of course. But guess what? I don't think that they're all gonna lick the boot or kiss the ass quite like Pete Hegseth will. No, that's what qualified him for him to nominate him, is because he will, same as Pam Bondi, he will do his deeds. He kissed the ring prior.
Jeremy says that's like saying someone should run Google because they have a computer science degree. Yeah. I would say it's not even that. It's like saying that somebody should run Google because they did a search on Chrome.
No, yeah, I've used Google and now I should run it. Like, no, absolutely not. Yeah, again, he's qualified by standard. He's qualified by the requirements, but the qualifications are moot. He has no qualifications. And again, like, I'm so terribly disappointed because, I mean, as much as the shit show that confirmation hearing was,
but they haven't had the vote yet, right?
No, they haven't, and because she has to put paperwork.
You know what the national poll? 19% of the national, 19% approve. He has a 19% approval rate, or 19% think he should be approved. That's
Hegseth?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think Republicans. I think you'll find enough Republicans that will vote against him that he won't get approved.
Here's the problem then. So like, if you, and this kind of ties into something different, which we can talk about on another show, but like the amount of the representation of senators and congressmen in Congress, they do not actually represent the entire public, right? Like, if you look at like certain reports and statistics in regards to beliefs in religion, beliefs on women's health care, all those types of things, like the public outweighs support for certain things when Congress does not. Like Congress, you're supposed to vote for your senators and your representatives to vote for you, but it ends up turning out that they don't actually end up voting for you. They vote against what the majority actually wants. And so like with that, you're saying 19% of people think that he should be confirmed, but guess what? He's gonna be confirmed.
I think there will be enough, because you only need like 3 Republican senators to
four. And what's her name is gone. Ernst is gone. She's going to support him, and I'm sorry. I think that she is a fake. I think it's
she's the new Nancy Mace. Remember how Nancy Mace was moderate? And
I'm sorry. Remember when Nancy Mace was moderate?
No. Like back in 2017, they were like, "Oh, she's a moderate," and then she's just gone further and further.
You're trying to ask me to remember when Nancy Mace was a moderate? Is like asking me when Kristen Sinema was a Democrat.
I mean, like when I say moderate, there are serious air quotes around it. Like the media tried to present her as being moderate.
Again, here's the thing. And so I challenge everybody. Like, I have not watched the news since the election.
Neither have I. I have not watched a single news.
I have pulled up CNN to watch the confirmation hearings because I could pull it up on my TV like that. Because you see, why doesn't C-SPAN have an Apple TV app? I don't know, but either way, I digress. So I pulled that up, and then and it was over, and like I was doing something on my computer, and they were doing their roundtable discussion about it, and when I finally heard what they were saying, I was like, you guys are dumb as fuck. Why am I watching? Why is this still on the television? But like, no, I don't think many people that are the majority that are voting are getting their news anymore from those places, though. Like, I really don't. Oh, what did he? Well, thanks never fall for your family's service. But seriously, what Jeremy said, Susan Collins wouldn't even vote locks. Oh, no. Susan Collins, I've seen the most ridiculous memes of Susan Collins. And like you have like the green line, and then it goes yellow, red, orange, red. And it's like, here's like, when you used to like hit a hammer on the thing, it was like the love level or whatever.
It's like her concern level or something.
I like that person. I don't like that person. I disagree with them, but it's okay. That is, we're redlining right now is the problem. Okay, so again, you haven't watched him yet, so you have to watch the Hegseth confirmation hearing. And again, like I said, he knows how to talk. He does. He knows how to talk. He did it on Fox News. So that's what he did. And again, like he talked over women the entire time. And then the Republicans, they all licked his ass and then spit the saliva from that into Trump's butthole. Like that is what they literally did. It was deplorable to watch it. Like, I mean, I have things to say about how the Democrats performed, but the Republicans just came out with all the stops in regards to making it a Trump thing. But okay, so Hegseth, let's break on Hegseth. So we're talking about Democratic messaging. Pam Bondi. I don't think that the Democrats really did too much in a bad sense of the way in questioning her, but she's a fucking cunt. And I don't use that word lightly. You have to watch that as well because I mean she was like trying to crack jokes the entire. She's like, oh no, hold on. Before I say that, she was her entire time because she was talking about California and she was talking to Adam Schiff, and I don't remember the other senator's name from California. But she was like, I'm so sorry about what you're going through, blah, blah, blah. But we need to fight the crime in California that was happening already and help the crime now that's happening because of the wildfires. And she was trying to be so snarky about it. One, she also would not admit the fact that Trump lost the 2020 election. She did not say that she was willing to stand up to Trump. It wasn't when she was asked about the 2020 election, she said Joe Biden is president. And the senator was like, I'm asking you a yes or no question. Did Trump lose the 2020 election? And she said, Joe Biden is president right now. Like she would not answer the question.
You know what? The other thing that concerned me about her was that she wouldn't commit to not destroying evidence of the January 6th investigation.
Oh, so did you watch that one?
I saw the clips on.
Yeah, no, she said, I'm going to follow the law. It's like, dude, you were a lawyer for the state of Florida and you still weren't following the law. Like the issues with Pam Bondi runs deep. There's a lot of problems with her as the AG of Florida that she's not qualified. sure, you know what? I can say the same thing with Ernst as I could say about Bondi. Like, it's great that they work with sexual assault victims and they don't want human trafficking or they don't want rape against women. Like, I can advocate for that too, but I could also be a bad person at the same time. Like, that doesn't mean I feel like it's a cloak. It they I don't know if I could say it like that. I mean, maybe. I think you maybe can. I know that I don't do that. However, I'm an advocate for sexual assault victims. I don't use it to further my career. It's not my career at all. However, I think that when you get to that level, you can use a certain non-discriminatory um, argument or issue and say like, here's what I'm for, and then do shit underneath that. Like that, I really do think like that they do that. Like I think Bonnie did it. You know, we saw she was like, oh, I went to Pennsylvania and I saw the bad voting shit, whatever, and she's saying that Trump or that Biden's the president. And then she's like, oh, yeah, well, I also went to Mexico and I saw safe houses and we need those. But it's like, all right, but what also did you do that below that? Like, what did you do instead of that that actually was not good? She uses that as a curtail to change the conversation. She's like, it's like, oh, well, you did some really bad shit and some really questionable things. And she's like, yeah, but I support sexual assault victims. It's like, wait, what?
She supports sexual assault victims unless they're Peter Hegseth's sexual assault victims.
No, I'm sorry. Also, not only her, but Tom Tillis and her both, especially, like, I'm sorry. She's like, oh, yeah. Kash Patel is a friend of mine, but I don't know what QAnon is. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. You don't know what he's talking about? A cabal of child-eating cannibalists that run the government that are all Jews. Like, what? I'm sorry. You know, I might have a little bit more time on my hands these days, but like, I even knew when I was working 60 hours a week what these people were talking about. And if she's if she's being honest and she's that disconnected, then that is another disqualifying factor for her. Like the fact that she's like, I would definitely support Kash Patel, then she doesn't know who Kash Patel is. She's like, oh, I didn't know about the statement that Trump said in regards to immigrants poisoning the blood of our country.
Do you believe that?
No, that's what I'm saying. she lied because she wasn't under oath and she knew she could get away with it. Like
we need to one, start making people do these. What's the point of a hearing? What's the point of a hearing if people can just lie?
Yeah, like
about the answers.
I posted on Blue Sky yesterday, and I mean, I can only speak to it in small terms because of certain things, but like I sat down for a 12-hour deposition with 6 lawyers and one of my lawyers under oath. And I had to speak truth to everything that they said because I was under oath. And I had some very difficult questions asked, personal questions asked about me. And I'm not even trying to be a secretary of anything.
Yeah.
And I also wasn't rude to them. Like they were rude as fuck to me, but I wasn't rude to them. Like I respected the process. Like that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. You know, and she's like cracking jokes and shit. It was deplorable. It was disgusting. But and like so what the only reason I even bring that up is I'm saying like I can relate to being in that hot seat and the fact that they treated it in such a certain way was
well, being dicks is celebrated by MAGA.
They should be put under oath because look at what happened with Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, all of that shit. Why aren't they put under oath? Like I have to be put under oath for my deposition, why aren't they? Why aren't they? That's a change. Why are they not put under oath? What during? Well, do we know the reason? Is there a specific reason why? I'm gonna Google it because I really want to fucking know. Why aren't, what would you say? Secretaries. Y'all are gonna find out how I Google shit. Put under oath during confirmation hearings. No. I mean, again, it's a civil thing. That's probably, but no, I was in a civil case and I was put under oath. So what? I don't even know. Like, what's the law on that?
I don't think there's a law against it. I think maybe it's just not the practice.
I mean, I don't. I think, but I think,
and the thing is if they lie, then they should like if I were the senator and Pam Bondi's like, oh, I never heard him say that, then I would just ask her, do you really expect me to believe that?
Well, she
that
said
you are the only person in the country that didn't hear about him saying that. Like, how, you know, have you ever turned on a TV or opened the internet? Like, how have you not heard that? I don't believe you, Pam. You're lying.
Well,
and why should I vote for you if you're going to lie to me during a hearing? It defeats the whole point of the hearing. Be honest.
Yeah. The one thing that I thought was very funny was, so Kristi Noem is part of that committee.
Oh goodness. The dog slayer.
With her cross necklace hanging there always, right? It's like she is Gilead through and through.
Wait, Kristi Noem or the squeaky one from Oklahoma?
Kristi Noem.
Isn't she the governor of South Dakota?
No. Are
you talking about Katie Britt?
The one that did the
squeaky one.
You're right. She did the response to the
yeah. Katie Britt.
Yeah, Christine, I'm sorry, we were talking about her.
Different weirdo debts.
Oh my God. Tell me about these brown-haired, brown-eyed chicks. Like, look at me.
But you're not stupid.
Well, I mean, that is, the jury is still out on that one. But no, but Katie Britt in Pam Bondi's confirmation hearing, she said some weird shit. She was like, thank you for blah, 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 whatever. And I just want to say, she was like, I want to quote, everybody's talking about you being good friends with the president. And I just want to, and also Kash Patel. And I want to say this. And she quoted what the response was to the confirmation of Robert F. Kennedy as a secretary of, I don't even remember, because again, I don't have a degree in politics, but what was RFK's position? He was the Secretary of State, I think, right? When John F. Kennedy was president, Robert F. Kennedy did what?
He was the Attorney General.
Attorney General. Okay, right. Yeah, that's correct. And so she was like, I'm going to quote this. And she read the statement. And it was like, before she did that, she was like, blood is thicker than water. And we all know what that statement means. That means that relationships with family goes deeper than those with other people. And I just want to let that know. Make that known. And I want to say this. And she quoted the response to the recommendation for RFK to be Attorney General. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I just want everybody to know that. I'm like, what do you even mean? Are you trying to say that, like, because Pam Bondi isn't blood relative as that we know of President Trump, that she's not going to give him the business? Like, what are you trying to say here? And also, like, to quote anything from John F. Kennedy's administration or his presidency is a joke for a Republican.
And the thing is like, I would just say, was that what Hitler meant when he talked about poisoning blood too?
Yeah, right. Well, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you?
Like, you're talking about like she's trying to quote Kennedy. No, he's quoting Hitler. He's quoting Hitler. He means the same thing Hitler meant. Like, no, don't sit there and try and reshape what he said. No, be honest. Like, if you're not going to be honest, why would I think that you should be the attorney general?
Yeah,
like, why would I want a liar to be my attorney general?
Right, Kelly, what do we have to do? Do we have to call senators for them to make them do this under oath? Because I'm tired.
See, this is why I'm not watching the thing, because it's all pointless. They're just going to do what they're going to do. If they get the liberals outraged and calling, then that just reinforces they're going to do it. Like, that just means that proves they're right. Because why would the Democrats be pissed off if they weren't right? Like, I don't know what to do. And it's kind of like I've been circling on this, and that's why, like, the media is not gonna, make not like the media is not going to point out these things.
With in regards to media, where are you getting your media right now?
I'm not.
All right, are you getting it from like Blue Sky? I mean,
the only thing, I keep up now on Blue Sky, and
and Stacks probably.
What's that?
My email is full of Stacks.
Oh, I don't do Stacks.
Wait, what? We do. Am I telling you? Is it Stacks? Substack.
Oh, Substack. Yeah.
I'm saying Stacks. It's just Stacks. Yeah. Like, I get all my media from Substacks, and here's where I get it. I'm
trying to go more independent media. Like, there are some people like Aaron Rupert.
Yeah, of course.
The Midas Network.
Midas
Mueller, She Wrote. And
yeah, they're all
like there's just the mainstream media is not, but the thing is, right now you have to like aggressively find real news. If you're like this is why I keep coming back to Nahaan, is that we have a system now. The Republicans have set up a system in our country where you work to the point of exhaustion. Like, we have the longest work week of any nation, any first world nation. We have the longest work week. We have the lowest vacation times. We have like just terrible commutes. Like, by the time people are done with work and come home and sit down with their kids and help them do their homework and do all of that crap, they don't have time to really, honestly, they don't have the brain energy. They don't have the physical energy. They don't have the emotional energy to go and really find, like, they don't have the time and to like dig through and find the real news. And it's like, I think this is even one of the reasons why the Republicans are so anti-work from home, because it's like, then people might have some time and energy to like research and find out all these lies. But they do their own research by watching a fucking idiot on YouTube make shit up.
I just told you earlier about the fact that like the old are dying out and the youth is small. Like, young people are not watching Fox News, and the people
but they are. I don't just mean
I'm saying we're not alone in the fact that we're also searching for other things. Like, I mean, I'm a millennial, I'm 34. Like, I used to be a conspiracy theorist, like, back in the day. I used to go to like Godlike Productions and AboveTopSecret.com, and like, this is before Alex Jones was Alex Jones, but like, there were things on there, like it's like the bread. I don't know if you call it a breadcrumb thing, but like what Robert F. Kennedy does, like Jr. does, is he says some really outlandish shit, but then sprinkles in like actually valid things, like, hey, there's microplastics in our food, and like, there's forever microplastics in our water. Like, those are valid things. are like, oh, red dye should be gone, which thank you to the Food and Drug Administration for banning red number 3. That's awesome.
Well, it took them like 35 years, but hey.
Well, they banned it in the 50s and then they reinstated it in the 60s. Anyways, but what I'm saying is like, this is how conspiracies start. This is how problems start, is where you say something outlandish, but then you say something that makes sense, and then your outlandish thing doesn't seem so outlandish, right? Like that's a problem. Like it's a huge issue, and I really am concerned though about the nomination of RFK Jr. I think that look, I'm not banking on anything, but I really do think that I think that he's going to have some Republicans that are going to question, like they might. Here's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on the fact that there's some Republicans that have autistic kids, right? And they don't believe in the vaccine conspiracy. And they're gonna be like, you're crazy. My kid is not autistic because of vaccines. Vaccines are important. But like the bank is low. My banking on him not getting nominated is low. I honestly, at the end of the day, think that all of them will be nominated. Every single psychotic, misogynistic, crazy person will be nominated. Quote me on it. Do it. I tell you, I will bet on it like horses.
Well, I hope you're wrong. I'm not going to put any money on it.
Race because the race is rigged.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
Well, everybody's cowed.
Yeah.
There's not a single Republican with courage anymore.
Livestock now. Horses, cows. We can talk about chickens and the price of eggs too, though.
No, we don't. I was asking my wife.
So expensive. It's insane.
I was talking to my wife the other day, and I asked her, "Have you heard about inflation?" And she said, "No, I haven't actually." And I'm like, because nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody cares about it anymore.
Thank God your wife does not do a podcast. Let her live in the reality that she lives in, and like we can just do it.
No. Hey, here the whole story.
Okay, don't worry.
I said, "Have you heard about inflation?" And she said, "No." And I said, "That's because nobody's talking about it anymore."
Oh, you mean
yeah.
I thought you meant generally speaking. I was like,
oh no.
That dream.
Since the election, nobody's been talking about inflation. It's like the national debt.
You know what?
National debt's not a problem anymore.
We don't have money for eggs, but we have money for Greenland.
You know what I was saying the other day is if people can't afford the price of afford eggs, the price of eggs is not the problem.
Right, exactly.
It's like, it's how much pay are you getting?
A country with a homeless problem doesn't have a homeless problem. It has a rich people problem.
Yes. And we have such a wealth distribution problem. But if I say that, I'm a socialist.
Wait. Speaking of rich people, when do you think the honeymoon phase with Elon and Trump is going to end? Do you think it will? Or do you think it's just going to... I don't know. Like, all right, I saw him on Twitter. He was testing out a Starlink connection at Mar-a-Lago. He literally posted about that, and he's like, "Oh, there's a lot of trees here, and so we are having to get out of the trees or whatever." It's like that guy. I think that guy is here to stay. Like, I don't think that. I think there's the richest man in the world, and there's the most. I
think it's safe to say he's the most powerful man in the world right now.
Elon Musk?
No, Trump.
I think Elon Musk is.
I mean,
I think that he is. I think that at the end of the day, like, I mean, I don't know, because you might be right, because Trump could take away the funding from a lot. Lima, what are you? Sorry, my husband, I think, gave my dog a chip. I thought it sounded like she was chewing on like lobster skin. I think that at the end of the day, like Trump could take away the funding for Starlink and for Tesla. And I mean, again, I did like to see that Tesla is, or the investigation from the SEC is going through into Tesla. But he's got funding for SpaceX and Tesla. And so like when that funding's gone, what will he do? I don't know. I think that here's the thing. I think that Elon is actually planning for the demise of his relationship with Trump by involving himself in European political affairs. I really do think that. Like, I think that he's like, all right, well, it might not work here in the US. What about in Germany? I mean, he's supporting the AfD. Like, you know, my husband is German. He's not a very political guy, you know, because politics in Germany have been pretty much lax for a long time for good reason. For, you know, it makes sense. But now it's getting to the point where, like, he told me yesterday that the AfD is trying to create these new databases for deporting immigrants that are in Germany. And he was, what? He was sitting on the couch with me, and he's had his phone in his hands, and he was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? What's going on? He's like, and he told me that. And I was like, you can't, like, not that Robin doesn't care, but Robin's not political, right? And so I couldn't believe it. He was like, this is insane. He's like, this is crazy. And I was like, yeah, this is the way. I mean, to circle back to the point that we're actually talking about, like, the left is losing globally. Okay. That is a fact. We can see it everywhere. This is dangerous territory that we're in. And it's important that we take note and learn from our experiences and our history to ensure that we don't end up in the same place that we have before. Like, I'm telling you this genuinely, like, the fact that my husband is worried about a right-wing party in Germany is terrifying to me. Like, the fact that they have even any hold on anything is terrifying to me. Justin Trudeau is gone out of Canada. Italy, Italy's bad. No, I'm kidding. Italy's not bad, but like there's shit going on in Italy too. Like I think that they had elected a very right-wing conservative president or whatever, I don't know what they call him, or chancellor, and then they took her out. But that doesn't mean that the movement is gone, right? It's happening in Italy, in France, it's happening. You know, it's happening all over the place. And so we have to be not just careful. I'm tired of being careful with what I say and what I do. It's exhausting. I think that we need to be succinct and we need to be strategic. You want to talk about war fighters, Pete Hegseth? That is what we need to do. We need to emulate that. We need to do the exact same thing if we want to continue to ensure that people are free and people can live. I think it's a terrifying situation that we find ourselves in, and I don't like it personally. Yeah, that's a lot. Sorry, Kelly. I did a monologue.
That's okay. So
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that? What do you think about that, though?
About what?
What I just said. What are your thoughts on that?
About the Germany thing and Italy and
about everything.
I don't think that I think from what I was reading, the polls for that right-wing party in Germany are they are not doing well. Like, I think that they're trying to, and I would be.
Remember that they have 6 parties in Germany.
Yeah, well, but that's in some ways going to work against them because you can get a coalition. Like, it's going to be harder for
Elon Musk over there talking with the AfD leader and supporting them. So again, like we're talking about Elon Musk, right? And how he's trying to control things. So he's talking about Greenland.
Yeah, I don't know that that'll work in Germany. I think Germany has like such a like if you were to go to Germany and start, you ask your husband, if you were to go to Germany and start
They're in,
praising Hitler, you would get the shit beaten out of you. Like it would just.
if they were try to start what?
If you went to Germany and started talking about how great Hitler was, or quoting Hitler,
Actually,
it would just be you just get the crap beaten out of you.
this meeting because I don't think that we're there that far off. I mean, there is still a Nazi supporters in Germany.
Yeah, but it's a really, really tiny.
But it's turned into the AFD, which is like the MAGA Republican Party of the U.S. It's like an equivalent of that. I am not. I'm not an idiot.
I mean, they are getting.
No, I think that you are being an optimist, and I'm not being a pessimist. I look at the glass. Is it made of ceramics? Is it a glass thing? Is it a steel glass? Like cup?
Okay, but hang on a second. So
I know, but you have to understand though. We are in a very difficult time.
Right. I understand. Okay, let me talk for a minute. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like the AFD is running right around 20% in the polls.
Yeah, but 20%.
Yeah, you're supposed to be letting me talk right now.
It's six.
But you're supposed to be letting me talk right now. Okay.
Good. I mean, I can't go.
Like I need to connect sentences sometimes. So the AFD is running right around 20%, and there are, like I'm just looking through it, and the something called the Union Party is leading, and then the SPD has 8. So Union around 30, SPD at 18, Grun around 14, FDP and Linky, I don't know, I'm probably saying some of these wrong, are 4, and BSW is 6. Then there's something called FW that's like barely mentioning. So you're gonna have
AFD is rising. It's a Christian.
Right, but hang on. I
think it's Christian Democratic.
Hang on, please. So the way that a parliamentary system works is that you have to build a coalition.
Yeah.
Because nobody's ever going to get the majority.
Yeah, you have to partner.
So what's going to happen is the AFD is so extreme, it's going to be really hard for them to get enough of a coalition to have an impact. They're going to get seats, because that's actually the good thing about a parliamentary system is that you can still gain seats. Like we have a 2-party system, because you'd have to it's really hard to get a third party going, because it's like
first when you get a third party, then you get a 4th and a 5th and a 6th.
Yeah.
If you look at what
but even if you have a parliamentary system, you still have to build a coalition. So the AFD is not going to get a coalition or a majority. They're not even going to come close. They're not even right now. There's another party that's got nearly twice as much support as the AFD. So who are they? Hang on. Who are they going to form a coalition with? Tell me, what party is going to join with
them? The people that kiss the ring.
Okay, but whose ring?
I don't know. I'm not that familiar with the AFD party.
So that's the thing about a parliamentary system, is you have to build a coalition.
That's the thing. I think the AFD is not trying to continue with a parliamentary system. That's the thing.
But that's what they're in. They don't have a chance.
I mean, I get it, but we also live in a democratic republic, and we no longer live in that now. So it happened. They pulled the rug right underneath us.
But they did that by manipulating our current system.
No, right. That's what I'm saying.
But that's not possible in Germany.
Wait, you know history, right?
Yes, I know history. I know that and I know that Germans unlike some of us, don't actually learn from their history.
Oh no, they learn about it. They're like, we were bad people.
And so
Like,
they're actually very, like, you don't see Hitler statues cropping up, like all around Germany the way you have Confederate statues all over America.
where Pete Hegseth said that the monuments or the bases should be renamed after Confederate generals. It's insane.
Germany was in a similar system
Come here.
when the Nazis took power, but it's still very, very different. They took over, like the Nazi party was an existing party that Hitler took over and totally changed. Kind of, that's actually more similar to what Donald Trump has done with the Republicans.
Exactly.
He's made the Republicans into something else.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how like Germany might be a little bit behind like another Nazi thing than America? Like we're closer to that than they are. I mean, again, I see the numbers. I've watched the dips and I've watched the. I mean, again, like I said, Elon Musk.
But you are correct in that there is a international trend towards right-wing authoritarianism.
It is.
That is very concerning.
It is, and that's concerning to me. And again, and now we're going to be run by our country will be run by one. And that is extremely concerning. And you're going to hate me for saying that. That's why I think the Democratic Party failed extremely.
But I don't think I think that the Democratic Party didn't win. I don't think
I'm not worried about them winning. I think
it's an oversimplification.
No one. They convinced no one.
Like I was using this analogy for a decade. I was an NBA writer and I covered NBA teams, and every offseason was terrible because you have to think of things right. And you'd get all these people that would send something called fake trades. And that would be like these ridiculous trades that are totally lopsided towards one team and that the other team or teams would never do. And sometimes there'd be like 3, 4, 5 teams involved where they're sending all their best players for scrap contracts and stuff. And you'd have these people, well, what do you think of this trade? And I just, I'd be like, it's so stupid. Then after the season was over and their team didn't win, they'd say, see, they should have made this trade. And it's like the trade itself was never realistic. And what happens now, hang on. What happens now is the Democrats didn't win. And so you've got all these at-home experts that want to say why the Democrats didn't win. And if I'm not saying they're perfect or that everything they did was perfect. I'm saying that it was beyond what the Democrats did. Name what the Democrats could have done differently to win the election.
No. Okay.
Like how were they going to change what happened in Israel?
Hold on.
If they had cut off funding for Israel, then they would have lost the Jewish vote.
Well, I'm pretty Trump
and that
bought.
They would have. Then we'd be talking about why they did that.
Trump bought the Jewish vote. Actually,
if they had prosecuted Trump earlier, then they would have been on a political vendetta, which they were anyway. But then it would be even more of a political vendetta, and then they would have lost for that reason. Like no matter what happened, the way the media covers things is not unbiased. It's not even-handed. It's always what the Democrats are doing wrong. And it's never actually asking the Republicans to support anything they say or do. The Republicans never even had a plan for the economy, and they got away with it because the media never called them out on that. And it's not the Democrats' job to run the media. It's not. It's the media's job to run the media.
So the Jews' rights to run the media, right?
No, not the.
I'm kidding.
I didn't say the Jews run the media.
I was making a joke. I'm saying, but Kamala Harris did capture 79% of the Jewish vote, which is a historic high.
Yeah,
right?
But how much of that would she have captured if Biden?
All right, but hold on. But so here's the argument here. How much of the collective of the Jewish vote is of the electorate, generally speaking?
It doesn't matter when you're talking about margins.
No, it does matter, because what I'm
I think
saying,
it's about 10%.
yeah, okay, all right. What about the youth that were upset about the youth that now can vote? Were upset about the fight between Israel and Palestine.
Okay.
What percentage?
Okay. Let's talk about that. But let me respond to your question here. Let me respond to your question. Let's say that they had cut it off. All right. And so she loses a known voting commodity.
10%.
A significant amount of that.
10%.
So then, but she gains, like, does she gain, first of all, does she gain that vote? Or do they just find something else to complain about?
I mean,
number two,
it's
not a known commodity. And number three, this to me is the biggest thing. Why were they never asked? Why did the media never, point out that Donald Trump was there talking about, for every drop of blood they spill, we will spill a gallon of their blood. Like, it was how many of the people that were, Genocide Joe yelling were shocked when Trump became president and found out that they weren't going to win? How many of them knew that, like, they didn't even try for a peace agreement, even though he kept trying for a peace agreement, and it kept getting shot down.
He's trying to take credit for that now too. He's like, the reason because I got elected is the reason there's a ceasefire.
But he was working for.
I'm legitimately asking.
Never would have worked for a ceasefire. So my point again is, okay, when I was in school and in college, I took this how to study class, and this teacher said something that I think is just so instructive. She said, if one student fails, it's the student's fault. If the whole class fails, it's the teacher's fault.
Yeah.
Right. And you had so many people.
Well, I mean, when you not look at that,
you had so many people that didn't know these things.
Actually, I would look at it like that.
Like, why that the fact they didn't know, and even you say they go on social media or whatever, and they go on podcasts. Well, the podcasts and media, social media, they basically just talk about the stories the mainstream media is talking about.
Let me before I forget. So I think what you just said is extremely important about the fact that if you fail, then that's on you. If the class fails, that's on me. Do you know how many people won democratically down the lower ballot? It was extraordinary, even though they voted for Trump as president. Like, insane. So I would say that the teacher didn't fail. I think the teacher had a substitute.
No, that if people don't know the things that are important, and then the media is not doing a sufficient job of informing them. Their job is to inform.
So what do we do about that then? As I said earlier,
that's what I've been spinning my wheels trying to figure out ever since the election, even before the election.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like, the media has gotten to the point that this is what we see now.
State media now, Kelly. It's state media. It's state media now. There is no media. It's state media now. WAPO, New York Times, LA Times. It's all, look. Mariel Garza stepped down from the LA Times and telling us, which by the way, I want to put these people's links somewhere where people can find them, because these are journalists that stepped down after either Trump was elected, and they would not, or before Trump was elected, they would not endorse.
Okay, hang on one second. I just want to respond to Jeremy here.
Yeah.
Getting Biden out in 2024 was made nearly impossible by running him in 2020, and that's the issue. But this is another thing that, like, we see this kind of thing, like the Democrats ran Biden. The
No,
Democrats aren't sitting there in a little cloistered room deciding who's going to win the nomination.
You really don't think
Like,
that
the
happens? I
Democrats
think it
didn't run Biden in 2020.
Based on what
Biden ran
Joe
in
Biden
2020,
said about Nancy
and he
Pelosi,
won the nomination.
sure that fucking happens.
What?
What did you not read the article about what Jill Biden said about Nancy Pelosi?
I don't care what Joe Biden said about Nancy
No,
Pelosi.
Jill Biden.
Oh, I don't care about that either.
No, but she said that she was upset that the way that she.
I'm not talking about 2020. I'm talking.
You're saying that you don't think that they sit in a room and talk about that shit. That is what they do. They have rooms.
They didn't in 2020. No. I'm sorry. In 2020, they did not sit in a room and determine.
No, because it was COVID.
They had a primary process, and I
don't disagree with the 2020 election. I didn't know we were talking about that. Yeah, no.
Well, okay, no. Let's go back to it. Getting Biden out in 2024 was made nearly impossible by running him in 2023, and that's the issue. So I agree with Jeremy's assessment here that I saw this in 2020. If Biden wins, then in 2024, everybody, like, I agree that his winning in 2020 created the issue.
President.
He was like, he was either
that's why I brought up Nancy Pelosi. That's why I was bringing.
Okay, forget about Nancy Pelosi for right now.
I mean, I wish we all.
I don't know why you're obsessed with. Just hear me out. Follow my thoughts for a minute, okay? What I am saying has nothing to do with what happened after either election.
Yeah.
All right. So in 2020, Joe Biden ran, and I understand Jeremy's point. Like, once he won the nomination in 2020, you could see the problem in 2024 coming up, because he was going to be 4 years older. Yeah. And if he had a good term, which he did, like, people forget
2020,
his first term was arguably the most successful first term by a president in over 50 years.
Like I said, he's giving Trump a good hand or a good card.
But you could see that even in 2020, like, people were talking about his age. So you knew in 2024 people were going to really be concerned about his age.
I think in 2020 people were laughing about the fact that him and Jill were sitting next to President Carter and his wife in that weird picture. Do you remember that?
No.
What? Are you kidding me?
No, I know. No. I don't care about that kind of stuff.
No, it's funny, but I know you don't care about that.
So anyway, the point is, like, I see Jeremy's point that this writing was on the wall about 2024. Like that Joe Biden's age was going to be a very serious issue in 2020.
Yeah, and again,
you could see that in 2020.
The Blue Anons were like, Biden ride or die, and like nobody ever considered the fact that Kamala Harris was going to run, and unless you were in the inner circle, like, nobody really thought about that. So it was like, who else could beat him? And it's a second term, like, he probably could get it. And I think he, like, screwed the pooch on that. Like, I really do. Like, I mean, I don't know. I can't at the end of the day say that I would know the best tactic to use in regards to that. But like you said, people were concerned about his age then, and that should have been a red flag for everybody in the Democratic Party, and it wasn't. And that, again, is a failure on the Democratic Party.
No, that's not a failure of the Democrat. Mm-hmm. What was the Democratic Party supposed to do?
They were supposed to curtail that and rally behind a different candidate.
Okay, and then if they had done that
prior to the election,
if they had done that, then what? Tell me, who do they rally behind?
Do you think? All right, hold on. Do you think that if they rallied behind Kamala Harris before Joe Biden ran for president, that she would have won?
I don't think it would have made a lick of difference.
I don't either.
So who do they rally behind?
Oh God, not Bernie Sanders, please.
Like, the thing is, this is what I mean when I say everybody's like, the Democrats did this.
You know what they should.
Neverfall would say.
All right, maybe
what's the solution?
Okay. Maybe we could.
What is the solution?
maybe we couldn't have won the presidency. However, we could have gotten AOC in that position that she was.
Oh no, we couldn't.
And whose fault was it that it didn't happen? Why I think
it a fault?
Wait, no. Who caused it not to happen? Nancy Pelosi.
The Democrats voted, but everybody's acting like AOC had some sort of. Why is it wrong for them to vote for the senior guy on the committee to be the ranking member of the committee?
What's the problem with seniority? They're old.
Okay, and what's wrong with being old?
Nothing.
Okay, but why is AOC more qualified than him?
All right, so here's the problem with being old. Older people represent a bigger majority than the younger people in the United States, as we were talking about earlier, but they're dying. They're leaving, and they're going to be able to vote for the youth that's going to have to continue to live through the votes that they decided upon. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. And there's nothing wrong with being old. And there's nothing wrong with seniority. I appreciate and respect, people's the time that they've spent in representing their communities. And
but here let me address what you're saying. You're saying that the ranking committee member should be based 100% on the next election and winning the next election.
No, I didn't say that at all. No,
it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with who is the most qualified to be the ranking member.
I think, again, then we can talk about qualifications, right? Like, who's best to represent the community at all, right?
No, it's who is the best to be the ranking member of the committee.
I'm pretty sure that the older ranking members vote against the youth all the time. And I'm pretty sure that the younger members in Congress don't vote against the elderly at all. They don't.
Okay, let's say you're going in for a surgery.
Yeah.
Okay, you're having major open heart surgery. And you've got one doctor that's done 1,000 open heart surgeries, and you've got another doctor that's done 2. Would you rather have the 1,000 surgery surgeon or the 2 surgery surgeon performing your open heart surgery?
I want to see how well they do with their hands.
Well, but they've done it 1,000 times.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, but you don't need to. What does that even mean?
Hold on. Are they using a robot to do the surgery, or are they using their hands?
They're doing the same surgery.
That's the thing. We have to migrate over to this idea. Like I said, like new media. Things aren't being done by people anymore. AI is insanely taking over a lot of things that humans do. We are at a precipice where what has been the norm is no longer the norm. It's the oldies, right? I'm talking about like normal shit. Like, all right, you can't even call a company anymore. Like, I wanted to cancel I had a problem. Somebody charged my Cash App card for a Lyft ride, and I don't even use Lyft. I couldn't even call somebody anymore. I can't call anybody. I like to actually make phone calls. I'm like a mid millennial. I like to make phone calls versus text messaging people when I want to make a phone call. Can't even do that anymore. So I have to shift my mind and my ideals and what I hold to be true to this new movement. Like, there is something.
Okay, but here's the thing: is
there
is a discussion to be had. There is a discussion to be had about those things, but that discussion wasn't had.
Also happening in
that
government.
Discussion wasn't had. Nobody talked about why AOC should be.
Yeah, I'm not denying that.
They're just because she's younger, because she represents. Those aren't reasons.
Hold on. So, like, you're right. Like, it's requirements versus qualifications.
No, I'm not even talking about requirements.
No. I am though, because that's what we're talking about this entire week with these confirmation hearings was requirements versus qualifications. So where were the arguments for AOC? Like, again, like, I'm I like AOC. Like, I don't follow her like that closely, but I'm certain that there are people that can tell you why she would be qualified for the job. And I think it's disappointing to me because the Democrats are still stuck in their ways and they want to continue the status quo. When what did the status quo do for us? It lost us an election. It
No, the status quo didn't. This is just retroactive, knee-jerk backlash. We lost, therefore it's their fault.
See, I don't think that though. I think
but that's because you're not looking like. Then that's why I keep saying, what should they do differently?
Don't tell me what I'm doing.
You're
I'm
not
everything. I look at all the news articles from all different spectrums of mass media. I'm looking at it all and I'm hearing people talk. And I think that people are
the people that talk. Tell me one person that has given you a solution.
To what exactly?
To what the Democrats did wrong. I keep hearing about what the Democrats did wrong, but I've never heard what the Democrats could have done better.
I did tell you that already. I said that they should have branched out and they should have listened.
They did branch out.
I mean, okay, yeah, they did call me daddy, you know.
They did, but they didn't. They didn't branch out just to the left.
Joe Rogan.
They branched out to the right. They branched out to Republicans.
I think here's what I think that the Democratic Party did right was they weren't doing interviews with the press. I think that was an excellent move, and that proved that the mass media they're in it for their own game.
See, like the thing is there's this mentality that if the Democrats had moved left,
let me answer the question.
They would have won.
The Democrats it wrong. They had Tim Walz as a vice president candidate, and they didn't even run on free lunch and breakfast for kids nationwide. Why would they not run on that? Why did they not run on that?
Because it's a local. Because school lunches are a local thing.
It doesn't matter. They could federally enact that shit. They could do that.
Do you think if they had done that, they would have won the election?
I think they would have gotten closer.
Oh, even though there's all kinds of right-wing movements to take away the lunches altogether.
They had him literally as the VP, and they didn't run on offering that nationally.
The party that won on taking away the Department of Education.
Wait, say it again.
The party that won ran on a platform of taking away the Department of Education.
No, right.
So hang on, because this is what people forget: is every move to the left you make, you might gain some voters on the left, but you lose voters on the right, and they're already characterized as being this extremist leftist operation.
I'm pretty sure that free lunch
that is totally mischaracterized. So my point is that the perception that people have of the Democrats does not match the reality of what the Democrats are.
But I think here's what they did. They went too far.
So who creates that perception? Where does the perception come from?
Here, I think that instead of being centrists, which the Democratic Party should have done, which is like free lunch for all kids, everybody would love that, right? That's a lovable thing. They went too far right and got Liz Cheney. I have no hate for Liz. I mean, but like, I think they went too far right. They were like, oh, we're a big tent. Everybody can fit in it. It's like, actually, no, I don't want Nazis in my tent. Like, sorry about that. I don't want warmongers in my tent. And I think that is where the Democrats lost the majority, was where they were like, oh, yeah, we will do that. But they could have been more centrist about it and said, hey, free lunch.
No, but they were centrist about it.
I don't think so. I really
don't. But they were. But
everybody looked at
okay, hang on.
Looked at Biden's history, and I heard this in
but
hold on. Not that I think that all of the facts were not all of it was factual. However, in these confirmation hearings, they kept saying things about like, oh, well, the Biden and Harris administration focused on trans rights and DEI and all this and the other. I don't disagree with any of those things. However, they use that as a separation between them and us. And they used it as a border to cross. It's either you or us. And that's what happened. That I think the most failing part of the Democratic Party was that they were able to use the good things that we did for people against us, because honestly, as I said, we are growing into a majority of people that
but do you see that's my point?
Monarchy.
What we're saying is not actually in conflict, Nahaan.
Say it again.
What we're saying is not actually in conflict.
Yeah, no, I know.
So hang on, hear me out. Give me a couple of minutes here. Okay, so what it is you're talking about there's a certain reality, and I'm talking about the perception. The perception and the reality don't match. And hang on, I know I see you ready to go, but hear me out.
No.
Okay. So there's the perception and the reality. Perception, reality, right? The reality and the perception don't match. The Democrats present the reality. The media presents the perception. The Democrats can't like change the reality.
Hold on, time out.
Okay, no, hang on.
The media,
Please hang on.
Based on what
Please
type
hang on.
of
So
media
the perception is the issue of the media. That is how people receive what the Democrats are. And when I talk about the media, I'm not just talking about Fox News or even ABC or NBC or CBS. I'm talking about the entirety of the media, even the left-wing media and the right-wing media and the podcasts and all of that. There is a general perception that people get just existing in the world. You talk about podcasts and stuff, but people that do the podcasts, that learn their news from podcasts, are not going in and diving into things and really studying them. They're listening to a podcast on the way to work, and they're sitting there getting random information as they're like waiting for red lights and getting cut off and yelling at people and flipping the bird. Like they're not like sitting down. I think that if you were to talk, like there are a lot, there are polling, exit polls that prove the more you actually knew, the more likely you were to vote for Democrats. The majority of Republican people who voted for Trump were like 80% of them believed things that weren't true. Okay, so why is that? Why is it that people, that misinformation and disinformation won the election? It's not the Democrats' fault. They're not the ones that are responsible for making sure everybody is properly informed. The biggest reason that Trump won is that his voters are ignorant. And I don't mean ignorant in an insulting way. I mean ignorant by the actual definition of the word ignorant. It means like not having actual knowledge. And not only did they not have actual knowledge, they had false knowledge. They learned things that were not true, and they voted based on that. That is not the Democrats' fault. That's the media's fault. And when I say the media, I mean where those voters went to pick up that information. Why are Republicans more likely to think that sheep medicine cures COVID? Why are Republicans more likely to conclude that vaccines don't work, or that fluoride is bad, or that, all of this nonsense, crazy stuff? And it's because that's what their media tells them. And so they believe that stuff, and that's why they vote. And so that's the reason the Democrats lost. That's provable by the exit polls. And the Democrats are not responsible for what the Republican media does.
TJ, that's the longest I think I've sat silent when I've not been alone. Okay, let me just comment on that. Okay, you make excellent points. One of them is that the Democrats aren't responsible for educating people. However, they are, though. But
how are they going to be responsible for educating people? Okay, if the Republican media,
let me finish. They are responsible for educating people, and they try to. And guess who votes those legislative initiatives down? Republicans. Okay, the Democrats do care about education. The Republicans want to hamper that, right? They and so like when you say that Democrats aren't responsible for educating people, we're all responsible for educating people. It's about what do you want to educate them about? What is it? Truth? Is it a left side thing or right side truth? I think at the end of the day, most left people want to educate everybody on everything. They want to be like, hey, by the way, you know that back in the day, the Democrats were the ones that liked slavery, and then like it's not like that anymore. Like they want to educate people about that, but we aren't able to pass that legislation because they don't like CRT. They don't like that shit. So it's not that the Democrats aren't responsible, but they have taken the responsibility and they have failed at that, not by fault. They have tried to educate people. And what you said also about the media and how that is where people are being educated. That's what I'm literally trying to say. Like, people get their opinions from Haktua videos, right?
Mhm.
Like that's where people watch shit. They watch it on TikTok until the 21st or whatever. I'm telling you right now, like the goal of changing the landscape here is not to point blame at people. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to be reasonable and honest about what I've seen.
You know, I think you're being reasonable and honest, and I think I'm being reasonable and
You
honest.
know, like,
And well, this debate, like, I think, it's kind of fun that we're having this debate, but I
give a
think
shit.
maybe
I
like
love it.
never falls like, hey, you guys are getting kind of heated. But
I
I think
know,
that there
like,
are
wait
two
a second.
different
What?
there are
Where's
two
that?
different aspects to this that really need to be like figured out, because I
There's
really
a
like
serious
I think
question
that that there is we tend to beat ourselves up too much. We self-flagellate after a loss, and we sit there and we blame everything on us and
Dude, I
not
was
on the people
stressed
that are.
for like a
It's
week
like,
after
I
that.
have a bullet in me. I shouldn't have been shot. It's my fault. It's not the guy who pulled the trigger's fault. I mean, it's like that's how we are.
I mean, but what were you doing though to get shot? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, these are like, this is the mentality of the youth. They ask questions, right? They do. And I think that we've gotten we again, I will not agree with most anything that the people on the right will say, because the right's not the right anymore. It's the alt right. It has come so close to what is terribly scary, that I can't even. I mean, I could say like Mitt Romney. I could compare my opinions. I could talk to Mitt Romney about some things. Dick Cheney, no, I would never talk to that man. Mitt Romney, I can talk to, even though he's a weird Latter-day Saints dude. It's fine, I can talk to him. But at the end of the day, like people, the youth have questions about things, and I think I could probably relate this to, and Jeremy would appreciate this. Um, to the show Severance on Apple TV, and it's about
No, Severance is on Max. Oh, Severance is on Apple. Never mind. Yeah.
So it's about like separating yourself from like your real person, and then like being able to spend half of your life in this other reality. And like so we're rewatching the first season
In
because
anticipation of season 2.
Yeah, tomorrow the season 2 premieres. And so there was a statement that the main character makes, and he was like, if Kier's whole thing is about insightfulness and knowledge, why are we being left in the dark? And I feel like a lot of people feel like that. Like things are so convoluted and so confusing that like the news needs to be approachable, right? They need to not be so again, and I'm going to use the word again because it's appropriate, convoluted, that it's so difficult for a layman to be able to understand things. Like that's why, like, I have a niece and nephew. I have 3 nephews and a niece, and also a daughter that just turned 14 on the 7th. They find it difficult to follow any news stuff because it's hard for them to process. And it's not because they're uneducated. It's just that we make it difficult to understand. Right. And I think that, that's why a lot of people, I'm not trying to say that the majority of people that voted for Trump are uneducated. However, I will say, like I said, like what 33% of Americans read at a 6th grade level. So like when we're talking NPR style, it's hard for people to grasp that.
But I don't think we are.
I
Like,
don't
I don't think it's anything at all to like with reading level. Like, yeah, the majority of Republicans have graduate degrees. Like, it's not or have college degrees.
Use it to take advantage of their base. They do.
All
they
right.
really do. I mean,
like,
like,
but
hold on. In the news just the other day on the Hill, they said Biden gives out $700 and something to fire victims or wildfire victims in California. They did the same shit here in Tennessee when they were like, "Oh yeah, the administration gave out $700 to flood victims," and it's like that is what they're allowed to do. That is literally all they're allowed to do at the beginning. They make it a thing. They're like, "Oh, that's it. That's all you get." Well, then change that law. Then change that law. If you don't like it,
that money is only for temporary housing.
Exactly.
It's not like to replace their home. That's a whole different program. But
right,
this is again my point. This is why. So this is understand what I'm saying here. If the Democrats' job in messaging, like let's take the things that you said, right, and put them together. If the Democrats' job is the messaging and to counter the lies that the Republicans say, then the Republicans control the narrative. Because the Republicans lie, then the Democrats respond to the lie. And then everybody believes which person they want to believe. But either way, the conversation is what the Republicans want it to be.
Here's what I'll tell you.
Hang on. If the Republicans lie and the media corrects them, then the media is not like the media is not the opponent. The media is just stepping in with a fair response, right? Then hang on. I let you talk. Now it's my turn. So the media steps in and says it. Then the Democrats, like you're talking about, the Democrats had some really, really good ideas, like solutions to solving the housing crisis. The Medicare, Medicare covering in-home care.
Yeah.
Do you know that is such a great program? Like the Medicare.
So great. Oh my God. So great.
And it's like, nobody knew about it. When I wrote this thing on why you should vote for Harris, and people came and said, why isn't Harris saying that? And I'm literally quoting Harris. Why doesn't, this is like why doesn't even Democratic voters know what Harris is saying? It's not like Harris is out there on the stump every single day. She's going on podcasts.
And the media is worried about whether she worked at McDonald's or not.
And it's like she's talking about these things, but the media does not report on what she's talking about. The media reports on what Trump is talking about, and only what Trump is talking about. So then Trump's in charge of the narrative on everything.
So
then what is the point? Like, how can you say the messaging is the issue when the messenger ignores the message?
I don't. Okay. I still will stand by what I say in regards to the way that the message is presented. However, I agree with you in regards to the fact that the media fucked up. And I am telling you right now what I said earlier. Like I said, journalists have and editors of journalistic papers have resigned because of the fact that they're willing to do the biddings for Trump, right? So we have to understand that that's been happening. I think the media
that's where we're getting to the issue, to the core issue. Right. It's the media is being owned by only a few people.
Right. And then so that's what I'm saying. So the Washington Post gone. Meta all of that media there that was, I mean, goddamn, don't go to Facebook. Your grandma will ask her how to use her remote. But and Instagram, someone's going to try to sell you something your baby wants to eat, which they probably shouldn't. Meta people are stepping down. No more fact checkers. LA Times, the WAPO, Jen Rubin and Norm Eisen gone. They're gone because they're not willing to bend the knee and contribute to that nonsense. And so what I had said earlier was that the Democratic Party needs to look at alternatives, because one, it's again, like I said earlier too, I agreed with Kamala Harris not talking to the media for the first part of her campaign, but she should have done more podcasts. She should have talked to more people. She should have made herself more available, but not to the mainstream press, because we already knew what they were doing. We saw it. And so did her team. And so fuck her team, by the way. But she should have done something different in that regard. And I'm not going to blame her for it. I think she ran a great campaign as well.
How many people do you think voted based on who went on what podcast?
I would say that whatever the youth is, the percentage of people under 25.
Okay, what were the demographics for under 25 vote?
I don't know. Let me look it up. I think it's 18 to 25. Demo vote 2024. The youth vote in 2024. I think that the youth voted +4 for Harris. Major differences by race and gender. Overall, youth turnout was down from 2020. I want to look at the numbers though, but I'll say this, one, I've never been polled in my entire life. Have you ever been polled?
Oh yeah.
Never have I ever. You want to do that? Never have I ever been polled in my life.
I've been polled. I think it might be an age thing.
You put a finger down. Okay, you have to hold your hand up. Never have I ever been polled.
So if I have been polled, I have to
finger down.
Okay, I think that's about how many times I've been polled.
That's not how the game works, but I get it. Yeah. So
the thing is that
Harris, 18 to 24, 54% voted for Harris. 25 to 29, 53% over Trump voted for Harris. It's the older people that voted for Trump. 40 to 65 and older voted for Trump.
Okay, and so it doesn't really have anything.
Those are the people that are turning on Fox News. However, we have to understand that the youth isn't turning on Fox News, so we have to migrate over to the new media to get them to hear our statements. Do you see what I'm saying? 45 to 65 and older voted for Trump. Harris won the 18 to 44 majority, but it's the elderly people, the older folks that voted for him. And those are the people that are watching Fox News, right? Those are the people that watch Fox News. So if we want to make any difference, maybe not this next election, maybe not the next one, but if we want, so right now the older people are doing, if we want the youth to do what the older people are doing in a positive way, we need to get them now to do the thing and consume the media that is not like Fox, right? Does that make sense?
To a point. I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying that that's not why she lost the election. I think that's a good strategy, and I think we should be doing that.
She lost the election because she had 4 months to run on it.
I think that she lost the election because ignorance prevailed. That is confirmed by the exit polls. The less people knew, the more likely they were to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
Right. And so ignorance is why Trump won.
Yeah, but
we always phrase it as why Harris lost and not why Trump won.
Trump won. Right. And they said
we never talk about statistics or exit polls or anything to support that. That's what I'm trying to point out.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
He won because ignorant people voted for him. That
Wait,
is a
hold on.
fact.
There was an excellent statement. I don't remember which senator said it. Actually, they were on both sides. They made a statement about it, but they were during Pam Bondi's confirmation. They were talking about finding the crime and then finding the person instead of finding the person and then allocating the crime. It's the exact same thing, right? Like it is exactly the same. I don't think that it's not even about so all right, so let's break it down then. Why did Trump win? One, because Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Yes.
100%. That is why.
And then, but now follow that through. What effect did his buying Twitter have on the election?
So his effect on buying Twitter was that he throttled left-wing accounts. He banned even left-wing accounts, and then he also unbanned alt-right accounts that were banned prior that were parroting right-wing agendas, and then also the funding when he did that.
When you say right-wing agendas, what's another word for that?
Right.
Lies.
No shit.
Right. So like my point is by buying Twitter, he like you're saying, he tipped the scales to disinformation and misinformation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So again, his buying Twitter resulted in ignorance.
That was not misinformation. That was disinformation.
Yeah, and he himself shared a lot of it.
And that was disinformation.
Yeah.
That is all intentionally disinformative. There's no misunderstanding about the information. That was factually disinformative.
There's to me there I like. So it's like, it's not just the times that he tweeted, but it's the people who believed him who retweeted. And they're maybe involved in misinformation. They believe his lie. And so but the point is that
that
ignorance, right?
And then not only did he buy Twitter and allow for the disinformation to run rampant on there, which, by the way, I don't know if you've been over there recently, but it is a
I go over there like for like a couple of minutes, and it's just like it's like, you know, that meme where the guy is sitting there at the table with the fire burning all around him and everything's fine.
I love that meme. Yeah.
Yeah, that meme is Twitter right now.
I don't even like when I go over to Twitter, like all I see are Elon Musk tweets. I don't even
I muted him. I don't want to block him because it would give him the satisfaction. So I just mute him.
It doesn't matter if you block him because he can still see your posts.
No, but I don't have to see his.
Right. But no, yeah. So either way, like I never followed him. Like he made me follow him when I got on Twitter. I think it was like when I hit like a certain amount of followers. Like I just like automatically started seeing all his tweets. And then I see Donald Trump's tweets where he just posted this video of his interaction with Obama at Carter's funeral, and it was like a lip reader. He like put like CC on it, and he was like trying to be like, oh yeah, you won the election, there was no doubt about it, blah blah blah, yeah, Harris sucked. And he like it was like a third grader posted this shit. I can't believe that the end. I have to send you this. This is, I mean, I cannot believe that the incoming president posted something like this with his 97 million followers like a fucking child. This is insanity to me. So this is the shit that I see on Twitter. But like I really don't even go over there anymore. I was like, oh, I might see something crazy and maybe it's good, but like there's really not even anything there. And I've the only things that I've seen has been infighting on the right and with these like influencers like Gunther, whatever his name is, and Cat Turd and
Gunther from Friends.
No, Gunther. I can't remember his last name again.
That was a joke. Remember
no,
Gunther from
I
Friends?
got it. I got it.
He would had the big crush on. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've been following in the chat, but you are now NSD.
NSD. Oh.
Nahaan San Diego.
Nahaan.
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 Nahaan. Well, NSD is how you pronounce it now.
NSD and
MPK.
MSD. We sound like additives to fucking food.
You know you've made it when you're an acronym. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. I love it. But okay, all right. So back to the basics here. So I think at the end of the day, I agree with you in regards to the fact that like it wasn't entirely the Democratic messaging or anything like that. The media was at fault. I do, again, as I have said before, I think that the way to combat that is to reach the people in the way that we can that will make sense to them.
And I think that is a real discussion that we need to be having. But how do you like?
How do you mean a 45-year-old? What, I got to write a fucking book or make a Wordle app or something?
Like, how do you and that's the question I've been wanting to ask. You either need to reach the people that get their news through right-wing media, meaning Fox News, Tucker Carlson.
No,
like there's there's like the right-wing podcasts that the older folks listen to, but they steer into disinformation, and it's like it's self-feeding.
I mean, we have to be accepting of the fact that there are points in time where you can't combat it at that point, right? Like, it's like a relationship with a very sick person. Unless they do it for themselves, which most of these people aren't going to try to learn something new. They're in their 60s at this point. They're not trying to change their lives. They're comfortable with what they know. They're not trying to do that. So unless you're able to find some avenue to do that for that group of people, it's not going to happen, right?
And see, here's the other thing, is like
maybe sex or yoga. They'll love
it's
that.
It's not just media. Like, okay, I was watching Landman. Have you seen Landman at all?
No.
Okay, I'm a big Tommy Lee Jones fan. Is it Tommy Lee Jones? I think it's Tommy Lee Jones.
I bet you're right.
Anyway, stars him, and he's Billy
Bob Thornton. Billy Bob
Thornton. That's I always get them mixed. It's a triple name thing. Anyway, Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Like ever since he was in Fargo, I've been a fan of his, and like Goliath is amazing.
I saw that, yeah.
But anyway, so I was watching Landman, and he's like the land manager for this oil company.
He's
and
Landman,
and so then he's supposed to navigate all the disasters and everything that happen, and so they come across and so he's got the millennial lawyer type who thinks she knows everything, and then so she's
Michelle Randolph or Allie Larder.
I don't know. I don't know. But the point is that she talks about renewable energy, and he points to the windmills, and he talks about
the
this.
Windmills are making the whales go crazy.
No, he talks. He uses this.
That's what Trump said, though.
Yeah, but he uses there's this right-wing talking point that the windmills actually end up, like they only last for like 7 years, and by the time they go out, they don't produce the energy that it costs to make them, so they're actually negative energy. And they're bad for the planet and stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure windmills have existed.
So he's got this thing, and where he does things like this, where he'll just do these right-wing talking points and matter-of-fact speech, and then the millennial is stumped and doesn't know what to say, and and it's all scripted. And so then the Trump voter thinks this is true, and it's not true. So my point is that they don't, there was I stopped watching this show after like years ago with Blue Bloods, where Tom Selleck, there's all this controversy over stop and frisk, and then Tom Selleck is in the back seat of a car and he's being interviewed by this reporter, and he says stop the car, and he gets out and he goes and like frisks this guy and pulls out a gun from a gangster guy, and he's like, this is and it's like, oh, he was able to spot it from a moving car, and he got this gangster guy carrying a gun, and so this just proves it works, and it's like your script does not prove anything works.
Yeah.
But the guy that's sitting there, he's a Trump supporter. He's like, see, this is, like they use fiction to peddle their reality.
They do.
And it's not just in the news media. It's in their shows.
Yeah, it's media. Yeah, it's
like so it's like that's why I'm trying to use a more universal.
Tim, who's Tim and someone's show? It's Tim Hanks, isn't it? No, not Tim Hanks.
Talking about Colin Hanks?
No. The construction guy show from the 90s had Tim. He's like a super Republican now. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Hold on.
Construction guy show. I have no idea. Dallas?
Home Improvement. Tim the Taylor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That guy. Yeah, he's like a super Republican too. Now they have a show of his on ABC called like switching places, and it's got this very like leftist.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either, but I've seen the previews for it, and I'm like, they are literally trying to manipulate people with this show.
And they do the same thing. There's the liberal daughter that he puts in her place with his my
Republican get your hands dirty shit.
And so it's like this is how they get their information, is through fiction. Hi, dog. What's your dog's name?
That's Bluma. Say hi, baby.
Is it a she dog?
It's a she dog.
She is beautiful.
Dalmatian.
Is she a rescue or?
No, I got her for my birthday. We did rescue her from an Amish family in Ohio. No, it was the best birthday present ever. I grew up with a Dalmatian when I was younger in Florida, and his name was Spanky, after the Spanky and the Little Rascals. And Bluma, Robin got her for me for my birthday. Best dog, smartest dog, knows all the tricks. Sneaky bastard though. But no, hold on, listen. So I want to continue. This is where you should be doing a spoken ad now. Like, we'll be right back after these messages, and we do that. So you should. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then you should promote our Substack and our YouTube channel. Can you do that while I go to the bathroom?
I can do that.
Yes. Okay, I'll be right back.
So yeah, I guess I have my marching orders here. So if you're not subscribed to my Substack, which Nahaan also see if I can dashboard. I'll share the link to my Substack. Here we go. So if you're not subscribed to my Substack, you can do that. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, then you can do that. So my YouTube channel, just so you know, it's like I have a few different things I'm doing. I have these machine puns. I don't do a lot of punning on this show. Every once in a while, a pun will come up organically, but I'm starting to do like a pun of the day. And then I have my slideshows that are more informative, that are kind of deep dives into different topics. And I also, if you haven't noticed, I if you follow me on Blue Sky, and or if you followed me on Twitter back when I was on there, I love to cook. So, but I've been gearing more towards uh like more healthy eating style, but not like eating only like not a diet so much, but just trying to eat food that I prepared. And that goes to like milling my own flour for bread, which is actually a lot easier than you think it is. So I'm just sharing things as I learned them, and sharing different recipes. And what I've been finding is different about this kind of diet is it's like with other diets, you're like, oh, I can't eat that, I can't eat that, I can't eat that. I'm not restricting any type of food I eat. It's just whatever I eat, I make myself. So I'm actually discovering there are all kinds of food that I can make and try that I've never had before. So it's making food more exciting for me. Um, and Also I'm doing like some like food prep where I have long COVID, and so there are days I want to eat healthy, but I have no energy. So I've got like a freezer filled with prepared meals that are like DIY TV dinners. And I've also been getting into canning, so I'm like canning my own soup and stuff like that. Anyway, I really encourage you, if you're not already doing so, to try and watch that channel and start getting some ideas. And for me, it was just one step at a time. And so I wouldn't say rush into everything, but, to like just start making your own food. There's something called super processed foods, which are like, you know, uh, canned chili or soups or, all of that kind of stuff. And, like TV dinners or, hamburger helper, or all these kinds of things that are, like basically so processed, they're not even food anymore. And then it occurred to me, like, what happened? Like, as I start making my own food more and more, like if you make homemade pasta, it's mind-blowingly different. And so they process food so much, it takes out all the flavor. And so then they have to add flavor back in. And so it's like you get so much sodium and so much sugar and so much corn syrup. Like the average American eats 50 pounds of corn syrup a year. And if that doesn't freak you out, it should.
Do you remember the Office episode where Daryl didn't get the job as a manager, and he was like, oh no, it's when the warehouse crew won the lottery, and he's like, I'm not a lucky guy. He's like, who gets a soy allergy at 35? Why is soy in everything?
Yeah. That so anyway, I just, like they process out the food, the taste, and then they have to replace the taste with fiber and salt, or with sugar and salt, and they process out the nutrition, so they have to put that back in terms of, like fortified vitamins. And then it's like, so it occurred to me, if what you're eating, like all the food is not food anymore, you shouldn't be eating it. Like if it has no taste of its own, it has no nutrition of its own, it at some point stopped being food and just started being calories. So it's like, and it's amazing when you start making your own food from scratch, and it's like it tastes like the food and not like salt.
We need to do a food Substack and a food podcast too, because I have background in that and also love it. It is my bread and butter. And we definitely should do that.
So I've got a playlist though. Not a podcast yet, but we should. But I do have a playlist
on YouTube. The playlist
on the YouTube channel that's called my healthy food journey or something like that.
Yeah.
So you can also check that out. A few recipes I've made. I made some sourdough bread sourdough pizza.
Yeah, I saw
sourdough
that.
bread.
Pitch perfect.
The sourdough pizza was just amazeballs. If you've never had sourdough pizza,
it's so good. I don't think a lot of people think about pizza using sourdough as the dough, but it's life-changing. It truly
especially
is.
Like if with fresh. So here's the thing with fresh milled food. Sorry to get excited, but
No,
fresh milled food you in the wheat berry, you have 3 parts to the grain that you eat: the germ, the bran, and the endo something or other. endocrine or something like that. The endocrine is the part you get in processed flour, and that is like just like
Endosperm.
basically
Oh, you didn't want to say the word.
endosperm, yeah, and that's just like empty calories is basically
Yeah,
what it is.
that's essentially what you eat in processed bread, though. That's it. You don't
And
put
all the like the germ and the bran are like just like there's 44 essential vitamins and minerals that you should have in your diet. 40 of them are in the bran and
germ. Yeah,
the endosperm or the bran and the
germ.
germ. Like
Yeah.
so we always think of like wheat as being like just empty calories because in white bread it is. But in whole wheat bread, like where you actually milled the wheat, it's extremely healthy food. And you've never tasted bread before until you've had whole wheat bread or like fresh milled bread, which is whole wheat is like got a little more stuff in it, but it's not.
It's got
It's
more
still
bran.
nothing like fresh milled flour.
Got bran in it. But the reason that they did white bread and bleached flour and all that was just because it was shelf life, because of the longevity of the shelf life, I think.
Yeah,
But
because there's oils in it, and then those oils, as soon as you mill it, they start going rancid. So you need to like use them right away. After a couple of days, it starts to go sour. So you have to use it right away. But it's a little bit different in terms of the properties. When you cook it, it absorbs water differently. So you have to like when you're making bread or whatever, you have to let it soak for like an hour. But it is a totally different eating experience. And don't even get me started on tortillas.
I love. Are you talking about flour or corn tortillas? Okay, that's Bonte out there barking. If you guys hear him, he's not usually the barker. Bonte. He's not gonna listen to me. He's his dad's dog. But no, anyway, so yes, we definitely should do a food thing. And good job. You said your marching orders. That made me laugh as I walked to the bathroom. I was like, yes, and I could hear you from there. Like, you did a really good job. That was awesome. So yeah, so as he said, if you guys follow both of us on Blue Sky, it's Machine Pun Kelly, aka MPG, and mine is Nahaan San Diego, NSD apparently.
MPK.
Oh, what is it? MPG? Oh, I said MPG, MPK, and NSD. We're like either weapons or additives to food. Follow us on Blue Sky, and then also if you do watch us on Twitter, like we're really trying to just make a Irish exit, not like that would be preferred. But at the end of the day, like where we can reach people, we're going to reach them. So we'll continue to stay on Twitter, I would assume, Kelly, until we've really got our presence where we want to be, which is on YouTube, since you can't do anything live right now on Blue Sky. So we'll continue to do our videos on YouTube. So if you can watch, the numbers really help us. Please watch our lives and watch our videos and go back and watch our library on YouTube so we can get those numbers. And Kelly can sit here and actually advertise something for you other than ourselves, which I actually
my wife just came in and I have a doctor's appointment. I think she's trying to hurry me off. So I've actually got to get going.
Hold on. So what we have to agree to something and then disagree to something. There's one thing all right. At the end of the day, we have to agree to one thing. So what do you think I'm going to agree with you on after our conversation?
I'm sorry. I got to go like now.
Oh, no. Okay.
So,
right, so
we can talk about this tomorrow. We'll continue tomorrow.
All right. That sounds fine. Have a good doctor's visit.
Thanks,
guys,
everybody, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Again, find us on Blue Sky. We'll be posting on there later. See ya.